Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Six, a podcast by RC, and I am, of course, Matt. And with me today, I have my mate, Andy, who also goes by AeroSmithyRC.
I do.
You do? Nicely said. So in the podcast, we normally talk about what's happening in the workshop, what's going on out in the field, what I've flown recently, and also what's happening out in the RC community. We're going to do something slightly different today. I am going to give you a quick update in the workshop because the Summit 3 model is now finally complete. Well, it's been sprayed, it's been covered, and I have just released the video. So that video is probably going to come out just before this podcast, so you should see that. It's looking absolutely brilliant. And I've moved on to the Flex Mamba, which will be filmed shortly, and that's almost ready for its test flight as well. So it is now progress in the workshop. It's absolutely great. But rather than going on and talking more about what's been flying and so on and so forth in the community, today we're actually going to talk about the fact that Andy and I run a flying club together, and it's a fairly new flying club as well. And we're going to talk about how we went about actually finding the land, setting it up, growing the membership, and some of the very strict rules that we don't
enforce.
Yeah, we don't enforce.
With an iron rod.
so we don't like. No, somebody should say that. Is that fair?
Well, that we're enforcers.
No, we're enforcers, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what we're going to cover.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we met. Well, I guess we met through an advert, didn't we?
Yeah, you were selling your Velux.
I was. The Velux, I mean, sort of, rest in peace, Velux. Because we should probably show a clip of that. That Velux was a great model. That was a model that got me sort of into slightly larger aircraft. And it was an electric setup, if I remember, with an X-Power.
It was an electric setup because at that time that was all we could fly.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, I didn't actually take ownership of the plane, so you have to remind me what the setup was.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was a 12S setup. I'll throw it up on the screen if I actually remember. For those of you listening, that's not going to help at all, is it? But yeah, it was a good model. As an advert, you know, I like to get through my planes. I was selling it, and you chose not to buy it.
I chose not to buy it, but I invited you down to the flying field that we were.
I'm not going to buy your model. I'm going to set you up.
yeah.
Come and have a look at my flying field.
Yeah, so I for whatever, I can't remember why, for whatever reason, I ended up not buying your Velux. But I did say, you know, like, come on down and have a fly with us. And at the time we were flying at a place called Emu Park, which was a fantastic flying site.
It was. I mean, it was a site.
It was on a farm, not too far from where our current flying site is. But you know, the strip was immaculate. It was very open, at least to one side. It was, I don't know if I was going to guess, 350 meters long.
Yeah.
You know,
it had facilities as well, didn't it? So it was private land.
We did. Yeah.
It was gated. You drove on, electric gates opened, down a tarmac pathway, and you could drive all the way up to the flying strip. And then there was a portaloo behind us as well, and then there was a double-decker bus.
A double-decker bus we put a kitchen in there.
With a kitchen, yeah, parked sideways, with the seats all turned around sideways in it as well, with a kitchenette.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's everything you could have wanted.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it didn't last.
No, yeah, like all good things, they come to an end. And unfortunately, we slowly lost that flying site.
We did. So we must have lost it at the end of 2022, and we started the hunt for a new field. Well, Matt and I started the hunt for a new field. Obviously, as soon as we knew we were going to lose that field, and we barely got any notice. I might have the date slightly wrong, but through a contact of yours, we found on a farm not too far from Emu Park, we found the Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
And that was definitely in October 2023.
It was. So if we could just pause there for a second and go back to Emu Park to talk about the reason why we lost that. It wasn't because of what many clubs probably think is a noise complaint, or they're building houses all of a sudden, and there's a few flying sites at the moment at risk of that. It was simply because the owners, there was actually death in the family. And then the owners decided they no longer wanted to do that. They wanted to do something different with the land. I think they were going to go down the glamping route.
Liveries.
Oh, was it?
It was liveries, yeah.
Horses or glamping, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's now, on our beautiful flying field, there's now sort of horses clopping around eating grass. Yeah, and you know, I don't blame them. I mean, it's there's more money in it than they ever got from us.
Yeah.
It's obviously a shame for us. But, you know, I think it's kind of like, you know, if you live in the south of England, that's kind of the way things go at the moment.
Yeah. So we sort of ended up going our separate ways for a little bit. So you're a member of the Guildford Flying Club and started flying more there, and a couple of others. I was also a member of Levy's Model Aircraft Club. We fly down on Leon Solent's airport, so I started flying down there. But we decided to, me, you, Dave, really to get a whole bunch of leaflets created and start going on the hunt for our own bit of land. And that's what we did. We were putting leaflets out. We had an advert in Farmers Weekly as well, if you remember that.
I do remember that.
And that just seemed to be a little bit of a waste of time. And in the end, as you were saying just a minute ago, we found the land through somebody I've known for a very long time. This is going to sound really posh. My chauffeur, no, my taxi driver, basically. I used to do a lot of flying around the world and always had the same guy that used to pick me up from home, take me to Heathrow or take me to Gatwick. I've got to know him pretty well over the last sort of 6-7 years, Stuart, and he was actually renting a property off the farmer who is our landlord. And that's how it comes back. So it kind of goes to show that it's kind of who you know, isn't it?
It is, and you know, like we had a good group of people at our Emu Park, and that, you know, formed the core of, you know, of the FOD group. You know, it wasn't like it was just Matt and I and we, you know, with an idea. It was we already had 8 to 10 people that we could kind of sort of, you know, transition from the old place to the new place, but we didn't have a new place.
No.
We had the members, but we didn't actually have the site. You know, so it was, and there were a good bunch of people as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a couple of key points there for anybody who's thinking about going to up their own flying site as well. First of all, you know, let's just talk about why it's called Field of Dreams or FOD. So sometimes the video here is called FOD, F-O-D. Other times it's Field of Dreams. And it was just basically, was it you come up with that nickname?
Well, yeah,
I think you would say.
That's what I was saying. Well, it was kind of a play on words, right? FOD being foreign object damage, Field of Dreams, and it was from the Kevin Costner film, as we've said. You know, build it and there will come, and it was a bit sort of tongue in cheek, to be honest. Especially, I don't know if we've got any. We probably haven't got any pictures of the early days at FOD, but I mean, it was tiny when we couldn't. Matt and I put our own money in to start it off, and you know, we couldn't. We bought the smallest amount of land, or rented the smallest amount of land from the farmer we thought we could get away with.
Yeah.
And it was you know,
it was tiny. So
it was about 80 metres long and 5 metres wide. I mean, my decathlons from wingtip to wingtip, it basically overstretched. The wings were off the runway. You know, and so it was a bit tongue in cheek, to be honest, wasn't it? And it sort of stuck.
It was, yeah. I mean, first of all, I think it's funny that on the BFA website now there's the Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
And it's becoming known because it's just a silly name, but we're sticking with it. So that gives me endless joy of that one. And also, though, I guess if those guys are looking for a field, we basically come up with a rent system, didn't we, all the way to do rent, and we just rent per square metre.
Yeah. It was. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't feel like in a sort of a particularly strong position to give advice to people out there. I mean, we kind of like made it up as we went along. To be honest, I mean, you know, we negotiated what we could afford at the time for for an area of land, so many square meters, so many square feet, and then when we, as the group, because it's not a club, it's a group. As the group grew, you know, membership obviously grew with it, and we had, you know, sort of free cash flow, some surplus cash, and we've always said, Matt and I have always said that, you know, we were going to reinvest every penny back into the club. So at the end of the year, there will not be a surplus. We will not be building up a cash surplus like some clubs do. As a flying group, we'll reinvest everything we've got, and for the first 18 months, what that meant was sort of incremental increases to the actual runway, the airfield. Yeah.
So we slowly increased the membership, didn't we? We had our 10 core people that have been over a long time, and then a few of their sort of friends, and then eventually we said, actually, let's put an advert out on Facebook or in the BFA group and just say, look, we've got a flying site in this area, we're looking for more membership, and then we're just inundated with more people.
We were.
But we're a little bit strict around that, so we didn't want anybody to join the club. We've got one underlying rule, which we may as well just say what it is now, and that is basically the no dickhead rule. I can say that, can't I? It's my podcast.
I slipped through the net.
Yeah. We let you in, didn't we? You come in, I put the rule in place.
I put a rule in place. I only allowed one dickhead, and I'm it. So hard luck. Yeah. You know, no. I mean, Matt and I. we're not young, but we're also not old. What we wanted to try and do was to, I mean, we're not ageist in any kind of way, whether it's sort of like young or old. But what we obviously are trying to do, and this is kind of a reoccurring theme within aero modelling within the UK, was try and encourage younger people.
Yeah.
And by younger people, I just mean people who are working age, basically. I mean, but if there are, sort of, people who are just sort of starting out, people, I mean, younger in RC tends to mean 20s and 30s, unfortunately. Yeah. But I mean, if there are kids, teenagers who want to sort of try the hobby, get into the hobby, we would, the idea was that we would give them priority over membership, over, perhaps, somebody who was, I don't know, 70 years old and had been a member of a gazillion clubs before. We've got, the sort of diversity of the club. It ranges from, very young to very old. All sorts of different backgrounds, which is why I kind of love it. Everything from people with professional careers, bank managers, whatever, all the way through to sort of tradespeople, to retired people, to bus drivers, you name it. And I think we're all the better for it. Yeah. But I think the average age of our flying group is probably lower than certainly a lot of groups I've been member
lower
of.
Than most, yeah. And the whole point was, when we put that sort of underlying rule in place, is we just didn't want people to join the club that would cause the group, which caused issues in the group. And that's why I kind of had it. So we kind of invite people down, have a fly, meet people, check out the facilities, make sure you're comfortable with the flying site and you're happy there. It's big enough for what you want. And you get on with people, and then you're invited to join on the back of that, isn't it? It's not really like a strict vetting process. It's just like, life's too short. We don't want loads of hassle. We just want to fly, have fun, and that's what we get. I think that's what came out really well in the last video we did down the flying site. Yeah.
I mean, we've got, I can't remember. I think the membership's up in the 40s now. I mean, we started
just hitting 50.
So we started off with 6 of us. In fact, we started off with 4 of us technically, and very rapidly went up to 6, then to 8. And now we're pushing 50, so what's that, nearly 6 times that amount, 6 or 7 times that amount. So is my maths off there?
I don't know, it's late right now. I've had a tough week.
It's late. I'm feeling sort of this electromagnetic radiation coming off this sign, burning the back of my head.
New sign, guys, new sign. In the studio, by the way, we're in the studio for the first time. It's getting hot here.
Yeah, it's getting quite warm actually, isn't it? We'll be naked by the time this podcast is finished.
It's not that sort of podcast, mate.
I can't remember where I was going with that comment. So there's now 50 people at the club, and I don't think we've turned a single person away.
No. There's one group of guys. There's one group of guys that come down the early days, had a fly there, messed around a lot, and then they decided it wasn't right for them. But that's fine. That was it. They sort of walked away as a group of 4 people. Everybody else that's seen it has joined. And like you're saying, we invest everything back into the club. So we decided to charge £120 a year. And for some clubs, that's a lot. Some clubs only charge 60. But we were starting up. Andy and I invested our own money into those first couple of years, brought the lawnmower, upgraded the lawnmower.
That's a story in its.
Yeah,
that's a story in
itself. Come back to the lawnmower story in a minute, 'cause that's the first thing we need to invest in. And we've made the runway bigger 3 times.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it's about 240 metres long, about 40 metres deep. And we've got a pits area, which is quite large now as well.
Yeah.
So it's all gone back in. And right now we're just putting new fencing up between the pits and the runway. That's going in. Then after that, there's any surplus cash this club year. Group year, what we're calling it? Group, thank you. This year, we'll maybe invest in some matting on the ground so the cars can drive in the wetter months. That's the main point, I think. It's a good setup.
Yeah, it's certainly a great facility. The flying field's one of the best in the area. Yeah. That's just not me selling it. I don't need to sell it. Or clearly, we have plenty of sort of interest in people wanting to join us. But it's a cracking facility. We do have some limitations at the flying site, like every flying site does have. We do have one particular sort of noise sensitive boundary that we need to be wary of. The track can become difficult under, if it's very, very wet, which, it was for a period last year. But, I think that's the same for most flying sites, in all honesty. So there are limitations to it, but the actual flying field itself, I think, is exceptional.
Yeah, I do. And I think we've got a good group of people down there looking after it as well and supporting it and just having a lot of fun. Like I say, as Andy said, diverse range of people and all sorts of different models down there as well. Yeah, for people learning to fly, foamies, there's some big stuff. We fly turbines down there as well, don't we, Andy?
We do.
Well, Andy does. I've not quite got mine ready yet. It's just sitting over there. And a lot of petrol planes as well, what have you. So it's good. So I think really to wrap up this bit, we're lucky we found that piece of land. There is land out there, guys. I know it's harder in the south where we are, south of the UK. There is land out there. It's just about going out, finding those farmers. Farmers are friendly people. That's what we found out. So I met with a bunch of farmers before meeting our current landlord, and they were just trying to find the right fields for us, and they didn't really come off. And it's all about, that basically they're happy to make more money out of what we're giving them, which is a key point, isn't it? We pay a good amount of rent. I think that's fair to say.
I think
keep the farmer interested.
I think we probably pay more than most clubs. I know we're not a club, we're a group, but we pay the farmer more than most groups would pay. Groups or clubs would pay.
Yeah, and more than what they'd get from the land.
And certainly a higher yield than he would get from whatever he grows on that field. Yeah, for sure.
We should probably also say why do we call ourselves a group rather than a club? Well, a committee.
We don't have a committee. No, we don't. We want. Like both Matt and I have been sort of members of clubs before, and there may be people watching this from different countries or listening to this from different countries, and you may have different setups in those jurisdictions. But here in the UK, it tends to work on the club system. It tends to mean there's a committee. You're with a. I forget what they call it now, sort of, a list of rules, a constitution, that's the word I'm looking for, and a set of rules and, politics and just general BS. And we really didn't want that. We didn't want, frankly, anybody, in my view, who wants to be a committee member is unfit to be on a committee. So it's a bit like
don't hold back.
It's a bit like politics, isn't it? So anybody who wants to be a politician should automatically be excluded from government or politics. So it's Matt and I with some help that run the group, and that's why we're a group, not a committee, because we didn't want the kind of the annual general meeting and the people forwarding motions and seconding and politics and all that nonsense. We wanted a kind of an informal group. If anyone's got any issues, they come to Matt and myself. We do have rules, of course. We have to have rules. We try to keep them to the bare minimum.
It works.
It does work.
Year
it does work.
4?
3, 4.
Going
into year 4. I think.
Going into year 4. It just starts. Our club season starts from
October.
club group season. My God, it's late. Our group season starts from October, and this is our fourth season with 50 members. We don't have a waiting list at the moment, but we're not advertising for members at the moment. A lot of it is now as friends, isn't it? We have a lot of people from CADMAC join at the moment.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, we're based in the south of England, south of London, between London and Portsmouth, and I think it's fair to say that is quite a heavily populated area, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so flying sites that don't intrude on people's privacy or don't create noise complaints is difficult where we are. There are less populated parts of the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, this isn't one of them. In fact, this is probably one of the most densely populated parts of the UK. In and around London, the home counties, not necessarily this area itself. So it's difficult. And what we find is, clubs have gone. Clubs have gone in and around us, and members have sort of come to us from those clubs that have gone. That's maybe what's helped boost some of the membership. I don't think it's the main reason, but yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a fine line we tread, isn't it? Between making the club sort of enjoyable for all, and not basically pissing the locals off.
No, exactly. We get the odd little complaint from a local, which Andy and I again just been to asking to deal with quite promptly in the same manner as well. So to kind of wrap up, I guess future plans for the group, which I'd like to see. We've not really talked about, but we keep investing this money back. Not that we've got thousands to invest, but any surplus from after we paid out the rent, we invest back in. Love to get some matting down there. Love to improve some of the facilities down there. Maybe a club hutch / container conversion, barn mansion.
Anything involving alcohol
down there now. A bar, yeah, exactly. Down there. So we're just trying to get some facilities down there, some solar panels, whatever, maybe some charging points, so on and so forth. We'll see where it goes, and we'll keep you guys posted on that. So that's just a little bit of Field of Dreams, why it's the Field of Dreams, how we got about going it, and just encourage other people to keep looking for land. I mean, one thing we'll probably do is carry on looking as well as a just in case. You never know, if we find another bit of land somewhere in the region, we'll set up a second group.
Yeah,
and get more people involved and secure some land.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to, I guess it's going out on YouTube, isn't it? So there'll be comments made, I'm sure. I'd be interested to see what people's experiences of trying to find land or flying sites is. Not necessarily from the UK, but in other countries as well. Whether it's as tricky as we found it. I mean, in all honesty, we found our flying site by chance. I mean, it was. Yeah. I mean, all of the stuff we deliberately did to go out and find it failed.
Yeah. The advertising, Farmers Weekly didn't really work. The leaflets, I think leaflets are worth giving a go, but you've got to be prepared to go and put them in the local pubs, in all the local villages. Go and knock on farmers' doors, I think is my advice there. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting, as Andy said, if you've got experience of this, or your flying site, your club, your group, whatever it is at risk of losing, just let us know down below in the comments. Let us know where you're from as well and what your experience is around it. But I want to move us on a little bit, because I know we said we're going to keep this short, but the next sort of section I normally do is talk about what's happening out there in the RC community, and something just come into my head, which I know you've got an opinion on.
I've got an opinion on everything.
I know.
Fire me up, baby.
So it'll be quite good to hear it. And I like to rant from time to time.
Have you got a bleeper?
People, no, I've already sworn twice, I think. So probably lose half my subscribers off the back of this podcast. But no, so yeah, keep an eye out what's going on there online, what's happening. I think last time around I spoke about Apex. Which is set up by
Jace
Desura, the ace, and his dad and his mother and a whole bunch of other people. Some great models coming out there. I've actually approached them to see if I can get hold of one of their models, but we'll come back to that another point. But the thing I noticed recently was a small thing, and I posted it on my Facebook page, and it's a new Futaba transmitter.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad. Wind me up, let me go, come on.
So both Andy and I fly Futaba. Now look, everybody's got their opinion on what's the best transmitter, whatever. I fly Futaba because I did 100 years ago when I started the hobby, and I just got back into Futaba. And we both happen to have bought the Futaba T26, which was/is the second from top of the range. You've got the T32MZ, then you've got the T26SZ.
I think there's a WC, there's a 32 WC at the top.
Oh, don't get me started on all the WC editions.
Which actually...
There's WC2, isn't there? Isn't there a T...
Yeah.
32 MZ WC2.
Did no one tell Futaba WC means toilet?
Toilet, it's a toilet transmitter.
It's a toilet transmitter.
I want a free one.
Come on, all the Powerbox fanboys are going to be out there. Come on, it's the toilet transmitter. We're going to call it that from now on.
You heard it here first. So my point is, we've got this T26, which we've had for what, a year? Not even a year?
Maybe a bit longer, yeah.
A year-ish, give and take a little bit. And they're now releasing a Futaba T26 Pro.
I'm going to be all over it.
You've ordered one of it, didn't you?
I'm going to be all over it. Love it. I mean, there could be nothing different, but I'd still buy it.
So me and many other people have already no, I've just bought the T26. Why do I now want the Pro? Or, why have they gone Pro, not World Champion? I guess they're using WC, the World Champion, for the top sets. And now using Pro for...
We've had many conversations about their naming conventions, and they seem to make absolutely no sense whatsoever.
What did they do with the T16SZ? Is T16SZ, then T16SZ?
It was IZ, wasn't it?
IZ, yeah, and then IZ Super.
There's going to be people who are listening to this who don't fly Futaba, who are going to be like, what the hell are these people talking about?
We're just having a rant. Let's just give us a minute, we'll get over this, okay? Having a rant. The Pro Edition's coming out. on the transmitter that was only just launched a year ago.
Yep.
Although they're saying the Pro Edition might not be available until early next year, which probably means middle of the year for the UK. And it's got what, fancy gimbals?
Well, yeah, that's one of the upgrades.
It's shiny.
It's got fancy. When you were doing your review videos of all of the transmitters, how could you forget?
Yeah, forget that pain.
How could you forget? Yeah. One of the things you said, which I think kind of resonated, was everyone looks for something different in a transmitter, and I think that's very true.
Yeah.
And my thing is the gimbals. Okay, so I fly with my thumbs. You're a nipple tweaker, aren't you?
I like to tweak.
Yeah.
You like to thumb.
I like to thumb. Yeah. So the gimbals are quite important to me. The ergonomics of the transmitter are important. The gimbals are quite important. And when I got the T26, I was on the 16IZ before Futaba. When I got the T26. And I've had this conversation with a few people, model shop owners. My flying improved exponentially, and it was because the gimbals were different. It just sat in my hands.
When you went to your 16?
I can find, when you, I mean, this could be me, right? But for me personally, as a thumb flyer, as somebody who flies with their thumbs, finding centre sometimes when you're nervous, when it's cold, when conditions aren't exactly ideal, finding centre can be difficult.
Okay.
Right, because you're applying pressure to the sticks the whole time. With the T26, the gimbals were better. The spring tension system was better, and I found that by sort of making adjustments to the transmitter, the Futaba was quite good like that. You can do all sorts of adjustments to the spring tension and the movement, the ratchet. Angles. Just exactly. Just by sort of turning screws on the back, that really helped me a lot. Okay. And I didn't realise quite how much it actually helps me. And I know you can actually buy stiffer springs for the Futaba transmitters. I'm sure they'd fit other transmitter makes as well. And I had done that before, and that had helped. So when the 26 Pro came out, and they said, all metal gimbals, it's all been upgraded, and yada yada. I did my ears pricks, frankly.
Yeah, got to try it.
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily think I might. I might try it, but I'm interested.
So try it. But I mean, that's a fair point, Joe. I've never considered that, because when you're flying with thumbs, you're putting pressure directly down on the stick. But when you're flying with pinching, you're not. So it is probably easier to find centre.
I think when you're, we might get tons of comments saying I'm talking rubbish here, but I mean, I can fly both. I just prefer to fly with my thumbs, right? When I'm personally pinching the sticks, I've got a strap on. I've got a strap around my neck.
You got a neck strap.
I've got a neck strap on my strap. Yeah, right. Just to clarify, because that'd just be weird if I. Anyway, let's not go there.
Let's move on.
And so the neck strap is taking the weight of the transmitter. Okay, so and I'm sort of like manoeuvring, pushing and pulling the plane through the air with my finger on my thumb. When I'm flying with my thumbs, which is my preferred way of flying it, I'm still wearing a neck strap, but I'm actually carrying the weight of the transmitter. I'm actually taking the weight of the transmitter, so I'm gripping it, and I'm applying a grip,
like a squeeze, like a grip on top of it.
So I'm always applying pressure with my thumb to the transmitter, because I'm actually holding the transmitter.
Yeah.
And I found personally that trying to if the spring tension or the gimbals weren't quite of the highest quality, I'm not saying everything has to be of the highest quality, but if they're crap, basically finding centre could be difficult. So you could think that you weren't applying you're a neutral elevator, when actually you might be putting a tiny amount of back pressure on the stick. And I just found the T26 was a lot better. It was a lot better engineered. I've flown the Powerbox Atom. I really like those gimbals as well. On that transmitter. A friend of mine flies Jetty. I mean, they have exceptional Hall effects gimbals, and the quality of I think it's Hall effect gimbals on the Jetty. I've flown FR Sky as well. They seem pretty good. It was one thing sort of I thought was kind of like lacking a bit on Futaba, but the 26 changed that.
I do feel sometimes they're sort of playing a bit of catch up, aren't they? But then of course, RC stuff isn't Futaba's main product line. Futaba are a massive organisation, and radio control's element of it is a small smaller section of their business.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll be honest, I bought the T26 because it was shiny.
Well, there is that.
It looked good in your mind. I don't know what it was good at the time. Crazy impulse buy. So anyway, the rant over is, I guess the point was, a year down the line, just over a year down the line, another transmitter's coming out to supersede the one you just bought. Can be a little bit irritating, but then I know people that have had transmitters for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, kept them, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, Futaba needs to sort that out, I think. But I'm not going to stop using them.
No, fair enough. So I think to wrap up then, can we say anything about FTL? Because I know you're doing some stuff with FTL at the moment.
Yeah. So we just had Jet Power, haven't we?
Yeah, Jet Power. Yeah. Well, you had Jet Power.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't have Jet Power.
Yeah. Sad face.
Sad face.
Yeah.
I could have gone as well.
Next year, man.
Yeah, next year. I'll be there next year for Jet Power, because it was Andy and I that did a walk around at Jet Power 2024, which got quite a lot of views on YouTube.
Yeah, and we kind of like we were I think the only people, but we bumped into FTL, particularly Ben Lawrence over there, and did a sort of an impromptu interview with him that wasn't planned or scheduled or arranged or anything like that, and we kind of like got to know them, and things kind of like moved on since then. FTL have obviously brought out, or announced that they're going to be bringing out some new products. They've obviously brought out their turbine. I can't remember, it's an M10 or M100, the M10 Pro Vortex, I think it is, or the Vortex Pro turbine. They've got plans to bring out, that's a 100 size turbine. Got plans to bring out a 200 and possibly a 300 size turbine.
Nice.
So, they're sort of moving in the right direction. So I was at Jet Power. I was invited by Ben to come and sort of like help them on their stand, and that was a real eye opener, because
behind the scenes at the event.
Yeah.
From the vendor side.
Yeah, from the vendor side. Some of the conversations that happen sort of from that side of the fence are quite interesting, to say the least. And and a lot of the work that goes in behind the scenes to turn something like Jet Power into what you see as sort of, well, not what you see, but what Joe Public sees when they sort of walk through the gates.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I was knackered before the show even opened.
You're always knackered.
I'm always knackered. But, it was, it was good. It was a good experience. And you and I are FTL team pilots, apparently.
We are, yeah, randomly. We're on the FTL Inner Circle team pilots. We've got the Lancia in the background here in the studio, which is going to be built next. Now the Mamba's finished, just need to run it up and test fly it and get the video done. We're going straight onto that model, and hopefully you're going to help me, because I've never put a turbine together before. And to be honest with you, I've had it for far too long. I've had that model since about April, haven't I? I've done absolutely nothing with it whatsoever. So it just needs to get, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It needs to get that flying.
And I've seen Daniel, I think, in Dubai, Hangar Dubai, has got one in exactly the same colour as you.
I did notice Daniel it's got exactly the same colour scheme. I had the first one, I'm just going to point that out. I mean, he's flying his, I'm not flying mine.
Yeah.
But,
the Maltese Falcon, if you want to check him out on Instagram.
Yeah, the Maltese Falcon, yeah. Nice guy. So lots of stuff happening with FTL. Please hear more about that on my YouTube channel throughout the year, especially as we start going around to the shows, Jet Power, Pro Wing, Western Park, and other ones. And of course, I'm heading out to Dubai to the MAD event, Model Aircraft Air Show Dubai, in end of January, beginning of February, the weekend that spans the 2 months. And hopefully you'll be out there as well.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be out there as well.
I hope so.
Yeah, get flight booked in, and there'll be lots of coverage from out there as well, including FTL, and the team will be out there as well. So I think we wrap up there, shall we?
Yeah, have we got anything else to bore anybody with?
I don't think so, no. I think we've just lost all the subscribers on the channel at this point. But no, something a little bit different. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Check out Andy's channel as well, which is AeroSmithyRC, which I'll link down below. Anything we've spoken about today, I'll link down below as well. Then maybe next year we might get as far as doing an open day down at the Field of Dreams and inviting, we have to limit the numbers, but inviting a bunch of pilots down to come and have a weekend flying with us. And pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, guys, good luck, and I'll see you next time round. Okay?
Nice one.
That'll do, won't it?
Yeah.
It's about an hour long.